Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi,
Are you so
Miss
excited
Neil.
for our special guest today?
I am so excited to talk with her. She's become a legend. I am
That's
very
awesome.
excited. And
So,
thank you to her for just being so amazing and just being a true patriot and bringing the truth to light. Oh my gosh, I am in awe of what she has done.
that's awesome. I love it. So let's real quick, we're going to go ahead and get started, introduce ourselves, and then we're going to bring our awesome guest on. I'm super excited to meet her. I know, Rachel, you know her.
Yes.
And I'm really
following her
excited.
story.
Awesome. All right. So I'm Angela Marie. This is with findyourpurposeandshine.com, but our morning show is Angela Marie in the morning with my special, amazing, beautiful co-host, Rachel Vermeulen, who joined me, I don't know, about 12, 13 episodes ago. So I'm really excited about it. We are streaming now live on YouTube and Facebook. And we are just growing this morning show. And that's our goal, is to really honestly reach thousands upon thousands, even into the millions eventually, of people, to be able to spread truth, facts, and to really just be able to give hope to other people as well. So that's who we are. Follow us Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, this morning, are you guys ready for more truth?
So excited.
More truth. Like, I feel like that's all we do is spread truth, facts.
It's
like this is what it is.
It's what our show is.
Yeah. So let's do this, Rachel. And Leah, if you can hear me, run a watch party before we get started.
I'm already on it.
All right. Awesome. Yep. Leah, if you can do that, I'm going to bring you on in case you don't, we got to get things going. Guys, run watch parties. You guys, you don't want to miss this. Any of our guests, run the watch parties, share to your page. And if you're watching us live, please make sure you comment and hit live replay. Go ahead and hit hashtag replay. All right. Without further ado, we would like to introduce our special guest, Leah Hoops.
Hi.
There she is. She's coming on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I haven't slept a whole lot lately, but
I can't even imagine.
But thank you so much for having me.
You are very welcome. I have been following your story since the very beginning. I mean, I know you threw out a couple of different people, but I have watched you on everything. I mean, everything. You have been truly amazing, Leah. I mean, wow, you're a true patriot, and I'm just in awe of what you have done. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So to get started, if you can just tell our viewers who you are, what you do for a job, and exactly just the background of what you've done in the election for us.
Can you guys hear me okay? I'm having a hard time hearing the show.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I'm a mom and a wife. We own a small business, my husband and I. I am a committee woman for the Republican Party in my township, in Bethel Township, Pennsylvania. I don't even know how to explain what I did. I guess just a little elbow grease and grit, and I just started meeting people on Facebook and starting groups. It's really a grassroots effort, to be honest. And I started meeting people from my county and all over the state, and I started attending a lot of rallies, anything I could attend just to network with people. The Reopen PA. I met up with the people from Free PA, which are awesome. Mike and Tabitha.
Tabitha, yes.
Yeah, they're just wonderful human beings. Yes. Attending all the Trump rallies that I could, flag drops, whatever I could possibly attend, I did, and I just started talking to my neighbors, and people wanted to be a part of something greater than themselves, to be honest. Then I was asked by Mike and Tabitha to start a branch in Delaware County called Free Delco. And of course, there's, I think, about 450 members in there. And then we started, with that, we started a watchdog group and started investigating on our own just our newly elected Delaware County Council members, that it's all Democrat. Our county went from being Republican for 150 years to all Democrat. Court of Common Pleas, our district attorney, and then after that, I just made a phone call to the Thomas More Society, which they are a nonprofit legal firm. And we became an affiliate with them, and that's how just everything kind of went. I don't know, fireworks from there. It's kind of been very surreal. Just just a little bit of like I said, a little bit of elbow grease and a lot of grit, and not being intimidated.
It's very true. And then you said you were working the polls on election day, and tell us a little bit about what you've seen on that day.
Oh, well,
yes, we can get into that. I know you probably are so tired of talking about it. You've been on how many now?
You know what? Not at all. Not at all. To be honest, I think it's important to, and your show is great when you talk about, just spreading the truth, because so many people aren't really hearing about, specific details, and people like me or any other witness or whistleblower in what we saw. And we're just everyday Americans that want to speak up and tell the truth. So thank you again for having this kind of show. It's grassroots. But anyway, so I went in at about 6:45 in the morning. I work in my precinct, so there's 6 precincts in my township, and I represent the 5th precinct. So I'd gone in early in the morning, just like I have always done, and from 7 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, there was nothing but issues. So the biggest thing for us was the line was wrapped around the door. I mean, all day long from 7 a.m. until about 1. And people were getting frustrated because our scanners were not working. And the one scanner didn't work at all. And then the second scanner, we were having nothing but issues for, I don't know, mostly the entire day. So you would put your ballot in and it wouldn't scan. So we were trying to get a hold of our county. So, we're like, hey, like, what's going on? And we couldn't get a hold of anybody. And I was starting to get messages all morning, and it was from people all across the county, and including my watchdog group. And they were telling me that they were having the same issues all across the county. And our county is like, it's big. It's like 562,000 people. And wow. So it wasn't like it was just my precinct that was having this issue with these scanners. It was all across the county. So anyway, we had finally gotten a hold of the voting voting machine warehouse supervisor, who came to our precinct, and he showed up. He did no kind of troubleshooting, nothing. He didn't even bring a new scanner. And he was like, well, the barcodes are deformed. And I'm like, okay. So I wrote this all down, and he just, he brought like 6 guys with him. They did nothing. And then they just left. And then later on, they sent a sheriff who brought in a stack of 500 ballots, a new stack of ballots. And even after that, there was still issues. So that's how the day started. Okay. When we closed, I ended up with other poll workers and people from the watchdog group. And I got a phone call. I hope I'm not rambling, but this is just, it's a lot of information.
Nope, you're
good. No, please keep going. I want to find out everything.
So now, mind you, like I said, I have a lot of associates, and one in specific is Greg Stenstrom, who you have seen on the news. He's actually on President Trump's. We're actually on President Trump's Instagram.
I know, I saw. That's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, which is like it's surreal. But he testified. He's the data forensic scientist that I had recruited along with other military people to go into Chester, into the polling places. And they had a great experience. It wasn't like all they hyped it up to be. Like, people would be freaking out and being rude and stuff like that. But they had seen a lot of irregularities. So anyway, after they were done with that, around like 6 o'clock p.m., they ended up at the counting center. Now, the issue with this counting center is that during a pandemic, they decided, and not just in Delaware County, but all across the country, that they were going to consolidate these counting centers, which makes no sense to me whatsoever, because now you're grouping a whole bunch of people into a large room, which from what I thought, according to our tyrant of a governor, is against, all rules when it comes to a pandemic. Mm-hmm. So anyway, they ended up at the counting center, which was moved from our courthouse to Chester, Pennsylvania, which is it's majority Democrat. It's in a parking lot next to loading docks. There's multiple places to bring ballots inside and out into and out of. It has connections to like multi-million-dollar companies, including Power HRG, which is a huge building company, and also Subaru Park. So there's a lot of ties there, but anyway, that's for another day. But they ended up going there at 6 o'clock at night. Greg gives me a call, and I guess it's around like 9, maybe 8:30 or so. And he's freaking out, and he's like, I need a lawyer down here now. And I was like, oh my God, like what is going on? And he's like, they will not let us into the back room. I said, what are you talking about? And he's like, there is a room where there are ballots, where the ballots are being ingested into, and they will not, there's no observation back there, nothing. They will not let us back there. So I'm like, okay. So I get on the phone, I contact our lawyer from the Thomas More Society, and they sent a lawyer down to us from, he's from Delaware County. So, they were ready to go throw down with Greg, like the sheriffs, the park police, like it was, right. It was bad. So, from his standpoint as a data forensic scientist, the man is literally specializes in fraud for the past like 20 plus years. He knew that there was something wrong, and everything that he was seeing, as he has stated, is that it was a forensically destructive situation. So they were separating the V cards. So the V cards go inside the scanners, and they tally the votes or whatever. And then so the V cards, the ballots, and the tapes are all supposed to be together. That's how you keep a chain of custody. That's how you can do a forensic audit. So what they did was they completely separated those three things. They separated them, commingled them all together. And this is what he was witnessing. So I guess it took 2.5 days and an injunction for us to finally get back into that back ballot room. So this is where pre-canvassing was transpiring. There was workers everywhere. They set us up in 2 chairs. Well, the injunction was a joke. We had 5 minutes every 2 hours. 5 minutes. Oh. And where they set us up was in 2 chairs, it was about 20 feet from any ballot. So you couldn't see anything. So it's not like I could challenge anything. It's not like I could see what they were doing. So there were tens of thousands of ballots back there. And this is 2 days after the count. So after that, it was a whirlwind. I was talking to people. I was screaming from the rooftops. I'm like, we need a lawyer down here. We need multiple lawyers down here. And then after that, we were talking to all sorts of people. Like, people were coming out of the woodworks and just contacting us because of our story. And what we were trying to tell them was, someone needs to come down here and and take forensic images. Send a U.S. Marshal, send a sheriff, send someone. And Greg was like, it would take maybe an hour, maybe, and it never happened. Wow. In the meantime, and stop me if you need to. I just feel like I'm going on and on and on. But
no, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
You're good,
so the following week, I'm like mixing up weeks. It was the following week. Greg and I talked to each other pretty much every day. We were 2 special agents from the attorney Josh Shapiro's office showed up at his house unannounced. And he was like, who are you and why are you at my house, kind of thing. And he had told them everything, pretty much that, we had talked to our lawyers about, and he was he had told to them, like, listen, I'm telling you that there is evidence and that you are responsible and you need to take action. So he was kind of, passing the buck onto them, saying, like, first of all, why are you at my house unannounced? We felt like criminals. So Greg calls me and he says, listen, I'm pretty sure they're on their way to your house. I'm like, who? And he's like, 2 special agents from Josh Shapiro's office. And I was like, awesome. I'm at work. My son was at home alone. So I rushed and I called my son and I said, is anyone at our house? And he's like, well, he's 14. He's like, well, the dog was barking for a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't answer the door.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, a couple minutes later, I got a phone call from one of the agents and, she was polite or whatever, but I was like, I don't understand why you're at my house. I said, we have representation and we have an affidavit. And I said, I have no statement to make to you. You can speak to my lawyer. And then I just, I said, thank you. And I hung up the phone. And then they ended up at the next person's house who also has an affidavit, and then ended up at the next person's house who doesn't have an affidavit, but was an observer and we're all Republicans. So for me,
I was just going to ask you that, like, Leah, like
that. I mean, at first I was very concerned and nervous, and I don't know why, because I'm telling the truth, but it's like, you don't know what they can spin or what they can try to do. And I just don't understand. Like if that could have been time well spent, in my opinion, to actually investigating our affidavits, speaking to our lawyers, and sending out an investigation team to the counting center, or speaking to election board members or the people that work the people that were actually handling the ballots. Why are you at a witness's home unannounced in the middle of the day?
Intimidation.
So real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and just interrupt you for a minute, because we've got more viewers right now. I want everybody to know what we're talking about. Okay. You guys, for those of you who are just joining us, welcome to the Angela Marie in the Morning show. We stream live Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have a special guest on right now who, if you guys missed it from the very beginning, you need to go back and you need to rewatch it. Leah Hoops is from Pennsylvania. In fact, she's specifically talking about Chester County. Delaware County, sorry, but you were talking about Chester County at some point. I'm still waking up. All right, Delaware County in Pennsylvania, you guys. So follow what's going on. There was deeper fraud than the story that she's sharing right now. This is alarming. Like, friends, this is alarming to listen to think about. I mean, I've heard story after story after story, but what is interesting is that, Leah, you said there were 562,000 people. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
What was the number?
In my county. I
in
think
your county alone,
registration was almost at 90%, which to me is very strange. And I think the turnout, I think it was like, I don't want to make up numbers, but it was huge. It was huge. So our county is not small by any means.
And I would just like to interject, for an attorney general, Josh Shapiro, to come to a witness's house who witnessed voter fraud, that is completely unacceptable. He needs to be fired ASAP. Who does that? To me, honestly, it's voter intimidation. It's intimidation. Same, plain and simple. You should have announced, hey, by the way, I'm just going to send out investigators, just checking out, just letting you know, giving you a heads up. We just want to see everything is on the up and up. We want to get your statement. They didn't do any of that, correct, Leah?
No, I mean, there was no email, there was no phone call, there was nothing. They just showed up at our houses, and it was very uncomfortable. It was intimidating at first, and then I became very upset because my son was home. My teenage son was home alone doing school. So why would, like, it just, the whole thing is very it's concerning. It's very concerning to me that, you know, I have to worry about, you know, I have nothing to gain from this. Nothing. Nothing at all. If anything, I have a whole heck of a lot to lose. And I can tell you, it took a lot of praying and a lot of talks with myself, and my family, and just to say, listen, this is what I'm going to do. This is what you should do. This is what we should be able to do as American citizens, and not fear retaliation, backlash, or any kind of bullying. I will honestly say, I am very happy that I did it, because I'm gonna try not to cry, but I've gotten nothing but positive feedback from people all across the country, in my state, in my county, and even all across the world. Which is, I mean, it just makes you feel like people are listening. And I know that when you speak the truth and when you stand up, the people will follow, and to actually see that, it just lets me know that, you know, God is on our side, and everything that that I stand for, and my faith, it just, I don't know, it's been very, it's been a crazy ride, but I'm happy that it happened. I'm sorry, I'm so emotional. It's just been crazy.
No.
Seriously, Leah, like I said, I've been following you since the very beginning. I am so in awe of what you've done. You really are a true patriot, and I cannot thank you enough for not being afraid to stand out there, speak up about what you saw. And honestly, I know you've gotten a whole lot from the other side, and people are so cruel and so mean. And I mean that for you. But you have been in my prayers. I wanted to let you know I've been praying for you every day, just for you to have strength and encouragement to continue and to face this battle. And let me tell you, I mean, it's not just us that have seen it, but I mean, how many programs have you been on now, Miss Celebrity? You've been on, can you name them? Are you allowed to name them?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was on Steve Bannon's War Room. I was on Newsmax. Mark Levin had talked about us. Trying to think who else. Epic Times, Gateway Pundit. You know, it's very, very weird to see your face everywhere, and you know, I actually got a phone call last night, and I won't mention the woman's name, but she found me through Twitter, and she found me through a mutual friend. And she had reached out, and we talked for about an hour and a half last night. And this isn't the first phone call from a complete stranger that I've gotten. But, you know, the message is always, I can't thank you enough. Whatever you need, if you need somewhere to go, if your family needs anything, like, people are just, and it is, like I said, it is restored my faith in humanity, in people, and just how beautiful this country is. And that's the biggest part of why I fight and why I stand up. And I know that other people want to talk. I know they do, and they're too scared, and they're being intimidated and bullied. And I think, like, enough's enough. Like, I have very thick skin, so anyone that's tried to bully me, I give it right back to them. So I think that's just where we need to be. That you got to use their tactics against them. You know, it's like, okay, call me whatever you want. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to speak. I'm still going to say the truth, and I'm still going to demand for the truth, and I'm still going to fight for this country, despite your doxing, your bullying, your intimidation. I'm done. Like, I've always been this way, and I'm just hopeful that my message can encourage and inspire other people to do the same, because it's time. Like, it's just time.
It's true. And
thank you, Leah.
You are inspiration. You really are. And I truly believe, just like God is using Doug for his purposes, he's using you as well. He's using you in a time such as this. So don't grow weary, as we all know that verse from Doug now. But seriously, don't grow weary. You're doing amazing things, Leah. And other people are starting to recognize it. It's not just us. I mean, look at how many different newspapers and news stations have contacted you. I mean, they realize the truth is coming out, and they want to see it. It's just, I don't understand the other side that's saying, oh, you have no evidence. Oh, there's nothing going on. You guys are just Trumpsters. Like, what? We have so much evidence. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican, you should want a free and fair election.
Right.
That says a whole lot about your vote and where this country is heading. If you cannot trust where your vote is going or if it's counting at all. Everyone should care, no matter which side of the aisle. We're just trying to fight for fair and free election. Whether it be Republican, whether it be a Democrat, just truth needs to come out. The fraud needs to stop. And that's what we're trying to come out and speak out against. And I love that you've been doing it so openly, Leah. I love it. I love it.
So it is. It's counting all legal votes. All legal votes. This isn't about we're going to count every single vote. It's all legal votes. And the reality is that for those of you, for our viewers and those of you listening, the live, the replay, whatever it is, I really hope and pray you guys are waking up. You know, this is only one county. This is Delaware County in Pennsylvania. One state, one county that has, 562,000 people approximately, right?
Somewhere, yep.
Somewhere in there. That's not counting all of the other counties in Pennsylvania. That's not counting all the other states and counties in other areas. You know, you take a look at Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, you know, Georgia and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is like the highlight. And this is my opinion, you guys, just from what I've been listening to, what I've been reading, what I've been watching. I mean, all of the research I've done. I believe Pennsylvania is probably the deepest fraud than any other state. That's my opinion. That's my gut feeling. And I believe that's why a lot of eyes have been on Pennsylvania. So, you know, for those of you who are still not believing that there has been fraud, wake the heck up. Wake up. We literally have a witness right here, right now. You are watching her live, or if you're watching the replay later, whatever. She is a real person, okay? A real person telling her story, what she has witnessed on a really deep level. And again, my opinion, Leah, that's a deep level. That's ridiculous. And then we've been hearing it all over the place. Like, you are a witness to this. And I believe that the truth will prevail. And everything that you're doing is amazing. I mean, I know Rachel has been following you. And when she said, we have to have Leah, you know, we have to have Leah Hoops on, we have to have her on. And I'm like, wait a second. I don't know how I missed that. I'm following everyone and I mean, it's like crazy following all this stuff. And I think that I'm just information overload. But hearing all of these stories, you know, real people witnessing this, you standing up, and you're right, Leah, you're right. Anyone and everyone else who hasn't stepped up to the plate, who has witnessed some type of fraud, needs to now step up. Be that voice, because if we don't, our voter integrity, we can say goodbye, because it's going out the door. And you know what? And so is our freedom. So is everything else. So we have all of this at stake right now. And we don't have a lot of time, right? Time is not on our side. But we also know that, you know, I've said this several times, Leah, and I know that you are a Christian. Obviously, Rachel, you're a Christian.
Yes.
We are all Christians here. And it is God's timing is always the best timing. And God is a last minute God. God is a last minute God. Like, how many times has he in your lives, like just personally, or you have witnessed it in somebody else's life where he came through last second, like the very last hour, the very last minute, second, whatever, always. Right? So time's not on our side, but God's time's on our side. So we have to believe and trust the process. And it's people like you, Leah, that are spreading this word, spreading the word, getting it out there, being a witness. And I did want to ask you, is this something that you are going to have to stand before the U.S. Supreme Court?
I might.
Good question. Whoa.
Yeah, there's always a possibility for any of us that signed an affidavit that, you know, we can be used to testify. And Yeah, it's crazy to think about. I think one day this is all going to hit me, because
It's
it
just
hasn't yet. I really haven't sat down other than like last night, and when I did, I like passed out. um, but yeah, I mean, this is what it's all about, and I'm hoping that that we can have some, some what's the word, restore the justice system, because in Pennsylvania alone, it's rogue. Like our PA Supreme Court it's gone rogue. Our governor
Yeah.
rogue,
It really is.
Secretary of State rogue.
Rogue.
These are branches of the government that are acting unilaterally and are violating the Constitution. And that is a serious problem. So there are so many issues at this point that are just commingling. But it really just comes back to making sure that our branches of government are actually following the Constitution and their role in our country, and that comes down to us, giving them, we're the checks and balance. Like,
Yes, ma'am.
I am disturbed at this point that that so many people don't realize that, and I think it has to do with the fact that our school systems have completely removed civics. These kids are not being educated in the importance of the branches of government, our justice system, the executive branch. I think they said 26% of the country can actually name the three branches of government. That is awful. 26.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So I think it becomes an educational take back for people to, how do you know that you're losing your freedoms if you don't know what they are?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that it for me, this is only the beginning, and I'm excited. I am very excited for this movement.
Yes.
I am very happy that President Trump came along and became our shield and pointed out all of these things and motivated people and informed them. And honestly, even though this pandemic has been, I think they made it way worse with all these lockdowns. I think
yes.
it gave us the opportunity to become informed and to become
That's right.
enraged and angry. And I think this was a timing thing, like you had talked about. And I think it's God speaking, and we need to listen. We need to listen, and we need to act.
I just got chills, Leah. It's so crazy that you say that, because I mean, these are things I know Rachel and I have had numerous conversations about this, as well as, people that are like-minded and where we are, the awakened, I should say. I don't even want to say like-minded right now, just the awakened people. And, I remember from the very beginning of all of this, when they announced the very first 2 weeks shutdown. I remember looking at my kids and I said, this is not about a virus. You wait, you watch, you will see. I am telling you, this is bigger than a virus. And what the crazy part about it, Leah, is that I felt all alone. I felt all alone because no one saw it. No one was, and maybe there were people, maybe they felt alone, but we didn't find each other yet, right? But it was like, oh my gosh, am I crazy? Am I crazy? And then all of a sudden, the first rally happened on April 20th at the Capitol in Harrisburg.
I was there.
You were there? Oh, I was there.
Excuse me.
And it was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is we're getting somewhere, right? And then you had May 15th, another one. And it was just the eye-opening. And I'm telling you, when I say I researched. Like I was up till 2, 3 o'clock, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was exhausted. But I was determined to find out the truth. And I knew that I wasn't going to find out the truth from mainstream media. I knew that wasn't going to happen. The fake news, right? They're becoming so fake, it's not even funny, like even more and more every single day. And the more time kept going on, I was like, this is everything to do with the election. This is everything to do with the one world order, the great reset, right? These are things, every single country is watching and looking at us right now. There are so many people that are Trump supporters around the world. Why? Because they know that he's standing in the gap to stop all of the corruption that is going on, along with the entire Trump team.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
So when I'm telling you, if there was any other president, we wouldn't be as far as we are right now.
I agree.
And we've got to look at the silver lining. So whatever the enemy means for evil, and evil started on March 13th when that very first announcement was made. And I don't want to say it started, it was continuing, but it was like we saw it. Like, oh, wait a second, something's not right. We never shut down a country.
And
we
not
never
just country,
shut
but
down
all around the world.
A world. Okay. We don't shut down the world. We don't. It's not a thing. It's not possible. And people keep justifying on the other side. So for those of you who are uneducated, get stinking educated, because it's time, and the time is now. You know, the more we wake up and the more we have an awakening, it's going to become even more beautiful. And those people, those evil people will go down. And when we say drain the swamp, like, we're not kidding. There is evil out there. And if you don't believe it, for those of you watching, I know a lot of you do, because we've got a lot of fans here that are like totally on our side. And I'm so excited about that. But I have to say this much. If you are still not sure that this virus, I'm sorry, it's a plan. It was a plan to destroy. A plan to destroy. And I'm not saying people didn't die from it. So don't discount that. But what I am saying is, did they really die from just COVID? That's my question. Was there an underlying medical condition? And were they diagnosed properly? Because the reality is that 95% of the flu numbers are now all of a sudden not there. So you're telling me 95%. Okay, so the flu numbers have dropped by 95%.
Yes.
So 5% of people had the flu during cold and flu season. Numbers are going up. There is not, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I have confirmed this with numerous people that when you get tested, it's not, you're not getting tested for COVID-19, right? Just here's a COVID-19 test. It's not how it works. Guess what else you're getting? You're getting tested for coronavirus.
There you go.
Coronavirus has been around for a very long time. And let me educate the uneducated. Coronavirus is the common cold.
Yep.
Okay, so what do we have right now? We have the common cold and flu season. Every single year, this is what it looks like, right? Am I right, ladies? This is the year for that, right?
Yeah.
So now we have more testing positive for COVID. Well, if you have the common cold and if you have the flu, my understanding is that you could still test positive for that COVID-19 test, because it's not just testing for COVID-19.
Exactly. You could be testing for anything. Testing positive.
It's interesting. Like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, but I have common sense. And I have red flags that go up. So I do my own research. And Leah, Rachel, I believe, and this is I'm a coach. So personal development is big for me, right? Doing my own research, personal development, actually self-development, right? And learning on my own, as well as hiring coaches and like going against the grain. Because when we follow the masses, we end up following the fake news, right? Like, that's kind of where that leads, right?
Oh yeah.
So I believe in that. And that's where we come into play. You know, when you think outside the box and you really, some people call it conspiracy theorists or whatever, which I just learned. Have you seen Out of Shadows?
I've heard of it.
I've heard about it.
Oh my gosh, you need to watch it. I watched it months and months back, and then Chris and I actually watched it last night it's like an hour and 17 minutes. You need to watch it. It's on YouTube. It's still there. They didn't take it down, thank God. But it's amazing how much brainwashing they have done over the last 50 plus years through Hollywood, you know, through movies and music and all of these things. And all for what? You know, the underlying issue on all of this is trafficking. I mean, when you watch this, it's sick. It's sick, and people need to wake up. This isn't a conspiracy theory. Anyway, in the documentary, it stated, do you know who came up with the word conspiracy theorist?
Actually, no. Who did?
The CIA.
Interesting.
You got to watch that documentary. It's amazing when you see all of it. But the reality is that it doesn't matter what side anybody's on. We all need to everybody else needs to wake up. This isn't about, you know, politics anymore. Okay. And most people think, oh, well, it's politics, or you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. It's not about that anymore. It should have never been about that. We're divided by political party, when the reality is we are actually divided between evil and good.
It's true.
Evil and good. Stop sticking with your party and start opening your eyes to see the corruption. Because no matter what side you're on, fair elections. I mean, what Leah has witnessed, for those of you listening and watching, is disgusting. It's terrible. It's unethical.
And I love that she actually came forward with that too, Angie. I mean, I don't know, Leah, if you had heard about my story, but I was actually talking about it a couple of shows ago, where Marcus Rydell and I actually saw some fraud happening at the polling location that we were doing. We were doing a polling location for Doug for, it was on an election day. Anyways, oh my God, it's been so long ago. But anyway, so we were at a polling location working for Doug and, you know, promoting him and saying, please vote for Doug. But anyways, we witnessed it firsthand the whole entire day. It actually started off with two people that came to our polling location. They looked like what was to be like official poll watcher badges. It really did look like that. And it said Biden Harris, but it was homemade. But you could easily fool anybody. Well, at first it was two, and then they saw us there with another poll watcher. And this other poll watcher we were with was actually a retired sheriff. And the retired sheriff started noticing, you know, something is off about these two. Well, I guess they started noticing that we were catching on to just their shady behavior. Well, the second guy left quickly, and we were only down to the first guy with that badge that said Biden Harris poll watcher. And he was just very, very weird. His body language was very sneaky, very, very sneaky. And that is what kept raising red flags to us. He kept going into the polling location, talking to the judge, and then coming out and talking to the voters outside before they were to come in, and asking them a whole bunch of different questions. Then he would actually sneak behind my car, crouch down, and he would start writing stuff on a notepad, or he would be making phone calls. We're like, okay, this is really weird. We weren't allowed in, so why is this guy allowed in? Like, it was really weird behavior. So then the more and more we started noticing the shadiness of this individual. And like I said, Marcus and this other poll watcher, I forgot his name. Marcus, if you remember his name, if you can write it in the text there. But anyways, they had walked across the street, which just left me at the polling location. Oh, sorry. His badge said voter protection is what Marcus said. Okay. That's voter protection.
We had those.
So anyway, Marcus and this other guy had walked across the street and just left me at the polling location. Well, I guess the guy saw this, because all of a sudden this guy starts walking up to our polling location. And then he grabbed, literally, I think it was like a group of 6 or 7 voters, grabbed him in a circle, started showing them stuff on the phone, his cell phone, and asking him all kinds of questions. And I'm like, wait, you're not allowed to do that. You can't do that. And so I just started acting like I was walking towards my car, trying to hear what they were saying. And he was asking him, who are you voting for? Wait, what? Why are you voting for him? And then making like tabulations or something in his phone. And then as soon as he started getting done talking to that group, he actually went by my car again, writing the stuff down again, and then making a phone call, but crouching down again. So he was getting information from this polling place, making phone calls, making notes, whatever have you. Sorry, Marcus said his name was Rob. Okay.
Rob, yeah.
So anyway, so after we were watching all of this, I guess Marcus had told the other poll worker what exactly was going on, and we were noticing this too. And the guy ran the this voter protection guy's license plate. He didn't turn up pretty well. He had some things on there from what I can recall. Yeah, he wasn't a good guy. So it was funny because maybe a couple of hours later, this other poll watcher, his wife was an active duty sheriff. Now, there is no way this other guy could have known this. Well, I guess the sheriff comes and walks over to us, just talking to her husband. Like I said, this other guy did not know how we were connected. He must have thought, hey, they called the sheriff on me. He got into his car so fast and so out of there so fast.
Good.
And
Wow.
so obviously he was there for not a good purpose. He was doing some really shady things, getting information which he should not have obtained.
Right.
And yeah, so we haven't been contacted about that. And I don't know, Marcus said it was relayed to the right people. So I don't know if it went any further than that, but I haven't been contacted since for my sworn statement about what I saw and what I heard. But I'm like, hey, contact me. We saw some shady stuff. Now, whether that can be voter fraud, I'm not really sure. But that guy definitely was up to no good. I mean,
Well, I think
Something was definitely going on there. Go ahead, Leah.
kudos to you. I mean, for acting and knowing and trusting your gut. And I think a big part of everything that has been happening is people don't realize, or they're being told to ignore their lying eyes. And, and a lot of the times people don't realize how significant what they saw is. So people are just like, they'll talk themselves out of it, or, they'll be, you have the media gaslighting everybody, telling us there's no evidence, even at the counting center, I had Republicans and Democrats being like, there's no fraud going on here. I was like, interesting. I said, well, the man who is credible and the man who is experienced in fraud is saying that there's fraud. So, that to me is gaslighting, and that's what's happening. And people are being told, like, stay in your lane. What you're seeing isn't fraud.
Nothing to see here. It's nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. And people are like, oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? You're right. It was nothing. And people are just they're afraid, or they've been conditioned to just not say anything. And good for you for saying something and doing something. And I think a part of it, and I'm sorry to ramble again, but people don't understand the power of a poll watcher, and they also don't understand about constables. So constables, work directly for the Constitution. Constables have arresting powers when it comes to enforcing election law. They are peace officers. So if you guys can spread the message in your areas, it would be, even if it was for like a day, 24 hours, 48 hours, a week, whatever, constables can deputize people for the day, train them, whatever, and they can be placed in polling places, okay? And they can also be placed in these counting centers to oversee ballot counts. So I think it's important to really push, especially for the upcoming elections, teaching poll watchers their jobs. And I mean informing heavily. And I'm not talking like waiting a week before election. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about educating your community, getting people engaged in the process, making sure that they understand the role and the power that a poll watcher has. And that includes, like what you saw, Rachel, that's voter intimidation. So that should have been nipped right in the bud. Somebody should have called the constable immediately, or you contact the police or whatever. And as soon as it happens, see, people are just like, I don't think they understand, or they don't have the education, or they are not informed of what a poll watcher is, or even a judge of elections. Like in our county, for the first time ever, shocker, they were doing curbside appointments. They had kind of taken over the process, and they were telling the committees that it was like, well, you need to get these positions filled, and if you don't, we're filling in our people, for you. So they were stacking the counting center and every precinct with their people, with Democrats. So the judge of elections, they are in charge of that polling place. You are supposed to go straight to the judge of elections and say, this is what is transpiring. If you do not take care of this, one, I'm going to report you, or two, I'm going to call the constable, the sheriff, and you have to involve your local law enforcement. You have to talk to your constables. You have to talk to your poll workers. And this should be done every single election cycle. And you have to build an army. You do. Because if they're not going to take, and for a reason, they're not going to take the responsibility, and they're not going to actually follow election laws, federal and local, or state rather, then we, the people, need to be the eyes and the checks and balances of our elections, and stop waiting for people to save us, because it's not going to happen. The government's not going to jump in and be like, hey, I'm going to do the right thing today. It's not going to happen. It's not. So
Marcus just said, I was on the phone with my contacts from the Trump team and legal team. Yes, you were. I'm sorry for mentioning that, not mentioning that, Marcus. He reminded me that while we were there, yes, he did do the right process. Sorry, Marcus. He did do the right process. He actually contacted the Trump team while we were there, and the legal team. So yes.
Right.
He did do that. He was on the phone with them all day. So yes.
Oh, good. Well, tell him I said hello.
Hi, Marcus.
He's on live. He hears you.
For the movement, and again, this is a grassroots effort and a grassroots movement that Rush Limbaugh has talked about for years. I am a huge Rush Limbaugh fan. He is on point. He is a true conservative. He is a patriot in my eyes, and I listen to him wholeheartedly, and so is Mark Levin. He is just fantastic. Yes. So, like I said, it's about informing and educating and getting on top of this, and like today, because you guys, you have local elections coming up. And it starts locally. It starts locally. Your DA, your sheriffs, your constables, your committee people, your council people, commissioners, supervisors, school boards. You could go on for days, and you need to make sure that the right people are in there, and you need to hold their feet to the fire and say, if you're not going to do your job and represent and follow the law and do what is right, you're going to be removed from office. And I will make sure that it happens, because that's where I am right now.
Follow the Constitution. How hard is that? How hard is that? That's what it's there for. That's what you took an oath for. Right?
Exactly.
And we have, and this is where I get so frustrated with people. It's like, wake up. Wake up. You are brainwashed. This documentary, Out of Shadows, all of you need to watch it. In fact, take some time in the next 24 hours or so to watch it. Pull it up on YouTube, Out of Shadows Documentary 2020. Type it in. It's there. It is eye-opening. If you think it's boring, guess what? Hang in there and watch it, because I'm telling you, it's going to get interesting. It gets interesting. It's like you are then all of a sudden sucked in, because the reality is you think you literally, again, for those who are awakened, congratulations. Super proud of you to have you awakened and fighting in the trenches with us and fighting the good fight. And we're all fighting in different areas for different, for the same purpose and the same reason. Okay. And one thing that I can say is, in that documentary is all about brainwashing. What Hollywood and politicians do. You will be shocked to learn the truth. You will be shocked to learn the truth. It's disheartening. Grab your tissues, by the way, too. If you are in for truth, watch. I'm telling you, especially for those of you that have kids. We have been brainwashed from the time that we were, and when I say that, like, that's kind of towards like middle, then close to the end, they go into that. But the reality is we've been brainwashed. We've been brainwashed by Hollywood, by these stars that we absolutely know and love. You're going to be shocked to learn some of these people are disgusting. That we have been watching our movies, brainwashed through and through. They play clips on certain things, on different movies, older movies even, okay, that the brainwashing started. And a lot of these people are also politicians.
Oh, yeah.
What about Epstein? Oh, wait till you hear about that one. And the people that are involved, the amount of people that are involved in Hollywood and politicians. You can't trust politicians, but you can trust patriots.
Right.
Patriots. Those are the people that we need to trust. Okay. This is about our Constitution, standing up for our constitutional rights in the United States of America. And it has been corrupted for decades and decades and decades. So listen, those of you who are brainwashed, who have been listening to the nonsense of there's no fraud, there's nothing to see here. Okay. The fake news, and I'm going to keep calling it fake, 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 fake. MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, Fox News, really, I thought more highly of you. That's disgusting what you guys are doing. ABC, I don't even know. And now I lost my train of thought because I just went off on a Fox News tangent. What'd you say? MSNBC, ABC, CNN, Fox News. Anyway, they're all fake news. Period. End of story. These are the news stations that have been brainwashing us for years, for decades.
There's a great movie. It's called Kill the Messenger. It's a true story. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it is fantastic. So if you get an opportunity, watch it. But it speaks about it talks about an investigative journalist who really exposed a lot of truth and how they completely destroyed his life, including the people that he worked for. So it's a true story, and it is, oh my God, it is.
I heard about
captivating. That. And then I wanted to, because tomorrow I have an independent director coming to my home. I'm going to be a part of a documentary about the election. Yeah. Yeah. Her name, awesome. She's great. She did the Great Suppression.
Great Suppression.
Debbie Wright.
Yeah, Debbie Wright. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I love it, Leah. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. I am so pumped because when you were talking about like the media and Hollywood and stuff like that, I really do feel like it has put a kibosh on Hollywood, and it has allowed, like, you know, for people like you, for people like Debbie, for all of these independent people who are getting the truth out. I feel like it's given you guys a huge platform, and because all people are doing is sitting home, so that people get to capitalize on, you know. And now we have all these other alternative news sites, and you have, you know, streaming, and you have, you know, Hulu, you've got whatever, YouTube. And it's like, you guys get to capitalize and spread the truth.
Exactly. And, you know, for those of us that don't watch programming, there's a reason why it's called programming. Programming your mind.
Right.
You know, it's interesting to me because I'm a transformation coach, and I teach a lot on mindset, Leah. I don't know how much you know about me. You just kind of were like, here's the show. It's all mindset. And reprogramming this sucker called the subconscious, because it's everything that we've been taught from the time that we were really little. Yep. And the crazy thing about it is that when you watch this documentary, Out of Shadows, they literally have people sleeping and they're playing these corruption tapes in the background. I say tapes because they showed an old, really old movie, I think before we were born, right? But that's programming. You watch TV before you go to sleep. That's programming. Your subconscious is at work when you're sleeping the most. So if you're watching negative things, especially the fake news, I'm telling you, you're going to get programmed to be a zombie. And that's why I like to call we are being awakened. This is the awakening. And I don't watch TV. So, man, those people that are like, oh, we program, you know what I mean? That thought, oh, the lockdown will be good. They'll watch the news, the fake news, right? They'll watch the TV and be programmed. It was people like us that said, no, thanks. Let me do my own research.
Right.
Let me be an independent thinker, because America, okay, if you are a true American patriot that loves and fights for our country, you are an independent thinker.
Right.
You fight for independence, and you will find the truth by doing your own research and not listening to what other people are saying outside. And it's so awesome to be surrounded with true patriots, like-minded people like both of you. And Leah, I know that we are on an hour here. We're at an hour and almost 2 minutes here, but I want to thank you so much for standing up, for stepping up, for stepping out. I mean, you have a 14-year-old son. Am I off on that? 14? Okay. 14-year-old son. I know how that is. I mean, I have 3. Mine are 19, 15, and 12. But the reality is they still have kids at home. So I get it. You know, as you felt as a mom coming to your door thinking, oh my God, what did I do wrong? But you didn't do anything wrong. And that is scary. Your child's home alone working on schoolwork while you're at work, and someone's knocking on your door for what? No heads up. No, hey, you know what? Let's schedule a time to come discuss it with you, right?
Right.
The normal way is like it's out the door. So thank you for spreading the truth. This is what we do on our shows. I mean, is spread the truth. Of course, we're looking for sponsors. So if you know any businesses so we can spread the word, even more so we can really make a bigger impact, we really appreciate it. But just, you know, alone, thank you so much for stepping up. And please keep us posted. We will be following you. You know, what happens with, you know, your interview with this documentary that you're going to be involved in. I'm excited for you about this. This is so cool. And Debbie Wright, shout out to you if you're watching us or even on the replay. Thank you for, you know, for making these documentaries, just for making them available. I mean, I know that we're still raising money for the Great Suppression, but it's awesome. I love it. I love how we are standing up, stepping up. And the reality is that I believe there is more of us than there is of them.
Yes.
On the other side. And I'm talking about the evil, corrupted people that we can stand against and fight against. And this is a war. This is a war against good and evil. It's a spiritual battle. This isn't a flesh and blood battle.
No.
And I was going to say something with that. Leah. Oh, Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court. Keep us posted.
Absolutely.
Keep us posted on that. I'm sure we'll know about it.
Yeah.
But
I would give anything to meet Amy. Anything.
This is a fight that we need to continue to spread, right? Like on our show, Rachel and I, Leah, what you're doing, anybody else, and of course, Wendy Bell, Doug Mastriano. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so many voices that are coming out, and we are spreading hope. You know, when I first started this morning show, I didn't think it was ever going this direction, and it did. But you know what? When you follow God and you follow his lead and you follow his direction, amazing things start to happen and come together, and truth needs to be spoken. And that has always been my motto: speak truth, speak facts, and be a light for everyone to see and to follow. Right. And I don't mean the followers like following the bad things, right? I mean to follow your lead, as in following the truth. And being and thinking independent, and teaching people how to do that, because there's too many that don't. There's too much brainwashing going on. So thank you for just everything. And we need to pray on our knees. This is a war that has to be won on our knees.
Amen.
I mean, I don't know, Leah, if you agree, but yes, we got to be in the trenches. Yes, we need to be voices. But in reality, at the end of the day, we need to end up on our knees in prayer, asking God for answers and revelation and wisdom and discernment. So
Exactly. And
Amen.
we will definitely be keeping you in our prayers. Like I said, I'm praying for you every day, Leah. Whether you know it or not, you've been covered in prayers. And I will continue to
yes.
pray for you as we face the battle. And I'm sure you're going to be called by so many other people. I mean, you've been on so many shows. It's just going to keep going. See, when you do good things, people recognize it and you get recognized for what you're doing. So that's awesome.
Well, thank you. I mean, thank you both so much. And you know, it's great to be on Newsmax and all that and all those and
That's
Steve
awesome.
Bannon's great and everything like that. And I give them 100% respect for, you know,
Yes.
but honestly for me, it's events like you know, the free PA event that I did and I spoke to about 140 people. And then, you know, shows like this that really that mean a lot to me and truly it's humbling because it's about the grassroots and that's always going to be the message for me no matter what. And I would be more than happy to do this show again. You ladies are awesome. You are just, I mean, what you're doing, it means something. It really does. It means something. And I just can't thank you enough for asking me. This is like, it just made my morning. So
That's awesome.
You made
We're
our
so
day
happy
too.
that you
Thank
said
you.
yes. Yes. So thank you, Leah.
you're
Thank you,
welcome.
thank you. So we will let you go. Thank you so much for being a part of the show and giving us all the
course.
information that you had and for being a fighter and like she said, for not being afraid to speak up and speak out and willing to take whatever punches is thrown at you and a smile on your face saying, I'm going to keep continuing in this fight. So you can't stop
Awesome.
me. You're not going to break me. So
Nope.
that's amazing, Leah.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
amazing. You're welcome. Have a wonderful rest of your day, Leah. Take care. And like I said, we will be covering you in prayer. And if our audience also, if you can be saying a prayer for Leah, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All
Awesome.
right. Take care, ladies. Thank you and
Yes.
God bless.
Thank you, Leah. God bless you
Leah.
too.
Take care.
Bye,
Bye.
Leah.
Bye.
All right, we are back.
All right. Yes.
All right, we're gonna end the show, you guys. Oh my gosh, she was absolutely amazing.
She's amazing.
I love
Yes.
having her on the show this morning. So for those of you who are following Leah Hoops, please do on Facebook. Please do keep, I mean, she's going to keep us all posted, you guys, but I'm telling you, she's a true patriot. She's a fighter. And I'm so happy, Rachel, that actually everything, like all the, like, glory goes to you, girlfriend, and God. But obviously, God told you to reach out to her because there's no doubt in my mind that that didn't happen. She is a true patriot. She's amazing. She's a woman of God, and she's going to do the right thing, and she will continue to do the right thing. So thank you, Rachel, for, you know, it's so funny that you and I were literally on the phone. I was coming back from my parents in Delaware because I do not comply with governor's orders. I go do what I want when I want because we live in America. I like my family, actually. I think I love my family. I think that we're supposed to be with family and friends.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I love my family and I wouldn't have it any other way. And that's what we did. We went for Thanksgiving. I got to see my mom, my stepdad, my sister, my brother-in-law, and there were 2 puppies. And we got to have fun and we got to spend time together, which is exactly how it's supposed to be. And we sat down at a table and we made Christmas cards for our grandparents, well, my mom's parents, right? They're 88 years old. They are in a assisted living facility. So you know what? We all sat around the table. My sister, Leanne, went out and she bought all the stuff to make these cards. And it was amazing. It was heartfelt. There was crying. There was a connection that we got to experience to do this for them. And we were reminiscing about, you know, all the memories and things. And I'm telling you, if you are listening to a tyrannical governor and you're not seeing your friends and family, shame on you. Shame on you. Wake up.
Thank you.
You don't know when you don't know when when your last day is. You have no idea. And God has a perfect timing for every single person. God knows every hair on your head. Amen. He knows the last day you are going to take your last breath, and it doesn't matter what it is. He knows what you're going to die from. So for those of you who are in panic of COVID, I'm so tired of hearing it. I'm also tired of hearing about people saying, are you going to get tested if you have a cold? Listen, I'm tired of it. Knock it off with the fear mongering you're feeding into the mainstream media. Because listen to me, there are, and Rachel, you can like cut me off if you disagree, but the reality is there have been more people that have committed suicide. There have been more people that have died of heart attacks during this time and cancer. People that couldn't get the proper treatment for their cancer, who now are progressing in later stages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There have been more people that have died in a car accident.
It's true.
You can walk out your front door and fall over. You can walk out your front door and get killed. You can go out. Okay, this is facts. These aren't facts. This is life.
Absolutely.
Everything is not about COVID-19. I'm tired of hearing the word, to be honest with you. Tired of it.
I think a lot
This was a plan. This was a setup for something much bigger.
My question is always
virus that will run its course and you will get over it. Okay? If you don't, then it was God's plan. All right?
And there's nothing you can do to stop that.
Nothing.
And it's funny because I always said, would we actually know that there is a pandemic going on? Seriously, would we know if there's a pandemic going on if it wasn't constantly in the news, constantly shoved in our face in messages and propaganda and brainwashing techniques? Would we actually know that anything is occurring around us? No. Yeah. We'd be acting like it's any other flu season and going, all right, so it could be bad. We would not know anything is going on, but it's shoved in our face 24/7 and now on our cell phones, thanks to Wolf. Come on, like every aspect, he makes sure it is inundated in our brain so that we can't escape from it. That it's always on the forefront in our heads. This is a thing. This is a thing. This is a thing. And when you know, and you can say that, you know it's brainwashing. That's all they're doing.
This is why they need to watch a documentary, Out of Shadows. Out of Shadows documentary 2020. Type it in YouTube. It's there. We just watched it again last night. Please watch it. Grab your tissues, by the way. I am telling you, those are facts, period of story. This is what they do. And Rachel is absolutely on point. If you didn't know, if the media didn't tell you, you'd never freaking know it. You'd be going on for life as usual, life as normal, the way that it is, right? Yeah. And that's how you be living your life, like normal. Also, that's what I was going to say on my way back from Delaware. I totally I didn't realize that we were on the phone.
We're always on the phone.
Talking about our show on the way back from Delaware. That's where I was going with that. So for those of you who are like, wait, where's the rest of the story? Here it is, squirrel.
Squirrel. We haven't done that in a while. Yay.
We haven't done it in a while. So you and I were on the phone and we were discussing our show. I think we were on the phone like 45 minutes of my drive home. And the drive is like 3 hours. It actually only took me 3 hours. And for 45 minutes, we were on the phone discussing, okay, what does Monday, Wednesday, Friday look like? Mm-hmm. Right? What guests can we have on? And that's when she said she was going to message Leah Hoops. We have another amazing guest, Maria. I'm not saying her last name. I almost gave it away. She's going to be a guest on Friday morning at 8:45 a.m. Eastern time. Standing up for small businesses.
Yes.
That it is absolutely is a problem with bars and restaurants. But we also have to keep in mind that all small businesses have been affected during this time. And we get to talk with her on Friday.
If we're going to have her too, since she's talking about that industry as well, I cannot wait. But also somebody else that we know, you know him very well. We should have him on the show too, because it affected his business greatly. So and he can go and.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait, who?
Who?
Okay, I need to go back to bed, I think.
So yeah. So
all right. No, I'm just kidding.
The busing industry.
I agree. Let's do it. We have so many people we can bring on the show. It's unreal. I think what's happening is we're starting to get these light bulbs. Who else can we get on? Who else can we spread the word? Who else can we, because the reality is you guys, every single one of you that watch us on a regular basis, we have like a select group of people that every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you are either on the live or you are on the replay. Or you're on both. Some of you watch our show like 3 times during the day. You guys are crazy. I don't know. I don't know. I guess so, right? They're like, wait a second, what did she say? Wait a second, what did it's awesome. It's awesome. I absolutely love it. But let me tell you, we appreciate all of our viewers. We appreciate all of you spreading the word. What we would appreciate the absolute most right now is share. Every single one of you, please share this to your page. Run the watch parties when you are watching the replay, when you're watching it live. Okay, let's spread the word. Let's work together and spread the word.
Yes, and especially share the video today with Leah so the truth can get out.
Yes, please do. Share this video today. Share, share, share. I want to see like 50 shares on this video. Can we do it?
I think
every single person, please share to your page. And actually, the more you run watch parties on your page, the more views you're going to get than just sharing it. Okay? So don't just share the video, but share it into a watch party. All right? Let's get the word out there. Let's keep spreading the word. Let's keep going. Because the truth needs to be out there.
The truth needs to be heard. It does.
It does. The awakening is happening, and we are part of the awakening. We are only a small part. Rachel and I are only a small part. But you guys are also a small part who are viewing and watching, and you can just hit that share button with the watch party and be that small part to keep spreading the word, because we all have different groups of people. And it's important, you guys. It's important that we continue to keep going. Keep fighting. Keep fighting the good fight. We've got to stay positive. There is a silver lining in all of this. And I have met so many amazing, incredible people through this time. Rachel is one of them. She wouldn't be my co-host right now if it weren't for this. So whatever the enemy means for evil, God will always flip it for good 100% of the time, all the time, every day, every hour. I mean, like, it is ridiculous what he does. If you really take a step back, he has brought us all together. We've had the awakening, and now he has risen us up for such a time as this.
It's true. And we are to speak truth. That's what he can. We are to speak truth against the lies, against the false prophets, against the deception that is out there. We're called as Christians to do that. And that is exactly what we are doing. We're causing whatever is in the dark to be brought to the light. And
that's right.
It's what we're commanded of. As his followers, we're supposed to speak truth over people, whether it offends them, whether it doesn't. Jesus didn't care that he offended people. He just cared about speaking truth.
That's right.
And love. And that's what we're trying to do. Speaking truth and love over the deception that is out there. Because I'm telling you, there's so much deception that if you only follow the world, you are already lost. And I'm sorry. Honestly, it really reminds me, if everybody follows just what the media says or just what the government is telling you, it really is. I think God is showing the Christians, or showing people who truly follow him, what it'll truly be like when we are lifted out of here by the rapture, and when the government takes over, and when they instill mark of the beast. They're just going to say, here, all right, you're telling me that this is safe, it's effective, it's going to get me to buy and sell things. All right. And they're not going to think twice about it. They don't think twice about wearing the mask. I mean, hello. Like we said, we're just trying to speak you up, or lift you up with truth and honesty.
And there's something that I learned a long time ago from one of my coaches, and it's this: find out what everybody else is doing and do the exact opposite. This goes for every single area of our lives and the way that we need to live our lives, period, end of story. What is everybody else doing? Do the exact opposite. Follow truth. Follow facts. Follow the revival. Follow the awakening. Be independent. Do your own independent research. And you will find that you aren't alone. You're with the small majority, but you're not alone.
No, there's other people out there just like you guys. So if you're attacked, if you're bullied, just know God is on your side. We are on your side. You have so many more people out there who are fighting this fight right alongside you. It might not always be together like we do at the rallies, but we are there in the trenches with you. You are never truly alone. Seriously. And if you ever need anybody to talk to, Angie and I are always here to talk. Reach out. We are there.
Now, the busier that we get, I'm just saying, it might be a little bit harder, but we are still with you, and we will respond as much as we possibly can. So
sure, we will.
With that being said, we are an hour and 21. I think this is our longest show. Holy crap. Okay.
Okay, we'll end it then.
Yes, we do. Okay, so we will be streaming live on Friday. Today is Wednesday, December the 2nd of 2020. It has been one of those years. Anyway, never in a million years did I think we were going to see it. But all right. So we are streaming live Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am Angela Marie, transformation coach, founder of findyourpurposeandshine.com, as well as this awesome morning show, Angela Marie in the Morning, with my special, beautiful, amazing co-host that I'm so blessed to have, Rachel Vermeulen, that I get to do this with, that I'm very honored to do this with, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 8:45 a.m. And we have partnered together, and we are going to continue to spread truth. Please stay tuned on Friday morning, 8:45 a.m. We are going to have a special guest. I kind of gave out the first name earlier, and I stopped myself. So please join us to see who that is. And we will go from there. I'm super excited about that. I'm excited about all of it. I mean, honestly, I keep saying I'm super excited. I'm excited about all of it, especially our Christmas party coming up. And no, I'm not inviting the world. Okay. If you will get a private invitation if you are invited, because I cannot possibly have hundreds of people here. Okay. But it's going to be completely normal. So if you are close to Rachel and I, and you know who there's a lot of people that watch us that know who they are. If you were at our last Chicken Pot Pie peaceful protest, that was super fun. All of them are invited. I hate to do it, man. One of these days, we're just gonna have to rent out this big place when it gets warm, and everybody's invited. That would be amazing. So come spring, we'll keep you posted. All right, you guys. You guys have an incredible day. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being in the fight and in the trenches with us. Remember, please share as a watch party on your page. If you don't know how, let us know. If worst case scenario, share on your page. But watch parties are going to get more viewers. We need to spread the word. We need to spread facts and truth.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And like I always say, guys, prayers and blessings over each one of you. And we will see you right back here Friday morning, 8:45 in the morning. Thank you again for watching us and for sticking with us for an hour and 20 minutes. We appreciate you, all of you. We love you guys.
God bless you guys. We love you. Prayers to all.
All right. Love you guys. Have a good rest of your